Hello YouTubers! I am going to preview the players that were taken for each of the 18 AFL clubs in the 2025 AFL Draft. Alright, let the show begin. Before we continue, I would like to ask for a very small favour. If you enjoy this AFL content, please take a sec to subscribe to the channel and like the video. That would be awesome. Okay, let's return back to the show. The first team is the Adelaide Crows. With their first pick at number 22, they selected Mitch Mars, a key forward standing 192 centimeters from West Adelaide Football Club in the SANFL. Marsh plays as a third tall in the forward line, has good hands, has good speed as well. He'll suit well for the Crows as he'll be the long-term replacement for Taylor Walker. The next player that the Crows selected with their second pick is Archie Lolawaki with pick 50. He is a key position forward standing at 197 centimeters from the Sandringham Dragons. This kid has talent but has been injured, but this could be the steal for the Crows. The next team is the Brisbane Lions. With their first pick, at which they matched for a Canterbury player, is Daniel Annabelle at pick 6. Daniel Annabelle is a midfielder who stands at 184 centimeters and he is from the Brisbane Lions Academy. Daniel is a strong body contested mid that plays like Josh Dunkley, another great midfield piece added to the Lions' nucleus of young players that include the two Ashcroft brothers and Sam Marshall. What a pickup. The next player that the Lions selected is Toby Evans, 187 centimeter midfielder from the Perth Football Club in the Waffle. The Lions are stacking their midfield. The third player that the Lions selected is Kirby Curtin with pick 43. He is the brother of Adelaide's Dan Curtin. Kirby, or Cody I should say, stands at 200 centimeter and is a key forward. And in the Waffle Grand Final in the under-18s for Claremont, he kicked 6 goals. And the fourth player that the Lions took with pick 44 is Ty Hines, a 190 centimeter midfielder from Southport in VFL. The next team is Carlton. With their first pick, at which they matched for their father and son, is Harry Dean at pick number 3. Harry Dean stands at 194 centimeter, is a key defender who likes to take intercepting marks. He basically plays similar to fellow defender Jacob Wiedering. They could be the two key defenders for Carlton for the next 10 years. What a selection from the Blues. The next player that the Blues took at is Taylor Walker, a 174 centimeter small forward from the Greater Western Victorian Rebels in the Coates Talent League under-18s. He's a small forward that has evasive skills and likes to take players on. He has a nice left foot kick. The third player that the Blues took with pick 47 is a Canterbury player in Jack Isett, a 192 centimeter midfielder from the Oakley Chargers under-18s. He's a tallish midfielder who can also pop up forward. The next team is Collingwood Magpies. And with their first pick, at pick number 32, they select Tyne Pindable, a 182 centimeter midfielder from the Brisbane Lions Academy. The second player that the Magpies took at pick 37 is Sam Spalding, 189 centimeter midfielder from the West Perth Football Club in the Waffle. He's a midfielder with good skills and good height. The third player that the Collingwood Magpies took is Zach McCarthy at pick 55. He's the NGA player and he's a ruckman forward who stands at 199 centimeter and he plays for the Oakley Chargers under-18s. He's a forward who will relieve some ruck duties. And the fourth player the Magpies took at pick 57 is Angus Anderson, a 193 centimeter midfielder from the Sturt Football Club in the SNFL. He is a ready-made player at 22 years old and he was best on ground in the SNFL Grand Final for this season in 2025. The next team is the Essendon Bombers. With the first pick, at pick number 9, they selected Sullivan Roby, a midfielder who stands at 192 centimeters from the Eastern Range Football Club. He's a powerful midfield, plays for power and strength, plays up forward and also in the midfield. The second pick that the Bombers had was pick number 10, and they selected Jacob Farrow, 188cm defender from West Perth in Waffle. Farrow has an elite kicking, and he will start his career off halfback and eventually transform into midfield, i.e. Jordan Dawson. The third player that the Bombers selected at pick number 13 is Dyson Sharp, 187cm midfield from the Central District Football Club in the SAFL. Sharp has leadership written all over him, and he's a strong contested mid. He's very good at the stoppages and will be a great asset for the Bombers. The next player that the Bombers selected is Max Condongianis. He's a 191cm defender from the Oakley Chargers under 18s. And the last player that the Bombers took at pick 53 is their NGA player in Hussein El Akhakar. He's a 171cm forward from the Collingwood Cannons under 18s. He's a small forward that likes to kick goals and take the game on. The next team is Fremantle Dockers. At pick 25, they selected Essendon NGA player Adam Swade, a midfielder who stands 176cm from the Calder Cannons under 18s. Swade has good evasive skills and takes players on. The next player that Fremantle selected is Coben Murray with pick 40. He is from Geelong's AFL Club. He's a small forward standing at 179cm. He's 20 years old and he has good speed and power. Will bring a good forward pressure to the Fremantle Football Club. The next team is Geelong Cats. Their first pick at pick number 24, they selected Harley Barker, a 188cm midfielder from Sturt in the SAFL. Barker plays in mid or in the wing and has speed. Plays similar to fellow Geelong player Dempsey. Unfortunately for Barker, he did his ACL knee and he'll be available between middle to the second third of season 2026. The next player that the Cats selected is Hunter Holmes, a 188cm midfielder from the Oakley Chargers. He is the brother of fellow Geelong player Max Holmes. Hunter Holmes is a quick midfielder and will suit well in the Cats midfield for the future. The next team is Gold Coast Suns, and the first four players they selected were all matching bid, starting with Zeki Orland at pick number 2, 179cm midfielder from the academy. He has elite kicking and will be beautiful place to play in the midfield where you can add him to Rao, Anderson, Miller, Petrarca, Humphreys. What a nucleus midfield that the Suns are stockpiling. The second player that they selected at pick number 5 is Dylan Patterson, 184cm defender from the academy. He's a fast and powerful running back who reminds me of Lachlan H when he was drafted, but with power. The third player that the Suns selected at pick 17 was Jay Murray, a 185cm midfielder from their academy, a good midfielder who has nice kicking. And the fourth player that the Suns selected at pick 18 is Bo Addison, a 182cm midfielder from their academy. The Suns are just stockpiling their midfield with so much talent. 4 players in the top 18. The next player that the Suns selected is Larry Thompson, a 185cm defender from the Tassie Devils under 18s in the Coates Cousin League. And the last player that the Suns took with pick 46 is another academy player in Kobe Coulson, 180cm midfielder from the Gold Coast Suns Academy. Another midfield added to the Suns. The next team is GWS Giants. With their first selection at pick 15, they selected Oscar Taylor, a 182cm defender from the Eastern Range under 18s. Taylor plays with a bit of flair and is very fast with a 20-meter sprint of 2.84 seconds. Basically, he can start the transition of halfback. Him and Lachlan H will be 2 running halfback. The second player that the Giants took at pick 51 is Finnegan Davis, 188cm defender from the Western Jets in the Coates Town League under 18s. He's a defender that likes to defend. The third player that the Giants took is current GWS Giants player in Jake Stringer at pick 59. He's a 192cm forward who plays for the current Giants side. The next team is Hawthorn Hawks. With their first selection at pick 20, they selected Cameron Nan, 188cm forward from Central Districts in the SAFL. He's a forward that just knows where to find the goals and just kicks goals. The second player that the Hawks took at pick 23 is fellow Central District player Adam Sherbert, a key position forward standing at 198cm forward, has good hands, takes good marks, long-term investment for the Hawks, with Gunston in his later half of his career. The next player that the Hawks selected is Jack Galton, 178cm midfield from the Sanningham Dragons under 18. He's a midfielder who can find the ball and is pretty clean with his disposal. And the last player that the Hawks selected with pick 56 is another Central District player named Matthew Leray, a midfielder standing at 188cm from the Central District Football Club. He can also play on the wing, has some good skills. The next team is the Melbourne Demons. With their first pick at number 11, they selected Xavier Taylor, 192cm defender from the Eastern Range under 18s. Taylor is a defender who can play on tolls and smalls and rebound off halfback. He plays similar like Nick Walsing. The second player that the D's took at pick 12 is Latrell Sumner Pickett, 182cm forward from Glenelg in the SAFL. He's a small forward with speed and X factor, knows where the goals are, and he's got the best player in his team to learn from in his cousin, Cozzy Pickett, a small forward that knows where to find the goals, but has been playing a bit more in the midfield. The next player that the D's took is Thomas Matthews, a small forward standing at 171cm. He plays for the Gibson Power under 18s in the Coates Town League. He's a dynamic small forward that can find the goals. The next team is North Melbourne Kangaroos, and with their first pick at number 16, they selected small forward in Lockie Doberson, 178cm forward from the Eastern Range under 18s. He is one of the best forwards or small forwards in this year's draft, and he will complement well with Paul Curtis, Zerha and Larky. The Kangaroos are slowly building a good forward line. The next player that the Roos selected is late Fred Gold, a 195cm key position defender playing for the Sturt Football Club. This is a good pick at pick 26. He's a good innocent defender, and I reckon this is a steal. The third player the Roos took with pick 48 is Hugo Mikundo, 180cm midfielder from the Geelong Falcons under 18s. Good midfielder, will find playing the ball. The next team is Port Adelaide Power, and they drafted no one. The next team is Richmond Tigers. With their first pick at number 7, they selected Sam Cumming, 184cm midfielder from North Adelaide Football Club in the SAFL. This kid plays forward and midfield, can win the ball from the clearances, and can kick goals. In one game in the sample, he had like 21 disposals and 3 goals. The next player that the Richmond Tigers took was Sam Grill at pick number 8, 182cm midfielder from the Oakley Chargers under 18s. This kid is super fast, has evasive skills, and he likes to take the game on. The next player that the Tigers selected is Zane Petruka, 180cm small medium forward from the Woodville West Torrens Eagles in the SAFL. Hooker was pretty good in the state carnival for South Australia under 18s, kicking plenty of goals, and he's a nippy small forward that will kick goals. The fourth player that the Tigers selected with pick 54 is Noah Roberts Thompson, the cousin of LRT or Lewis Roberts Thompson, former Sydney Swans Premiership player. Noah Roberts Thompson is a 181cm midfielder that can find the ball in the midfield. Good pickup for the Tigers. The next team is the Sydney Swans. With pick 14, they match a bid for their academy player in Harry Carl, a 188cm defender from the Sydney Swans Academy. He's a player that plays off defence with a good kick and will be a long-term replacement like players like Dan Rampy. The next player that the Swans selected is Luan Philippou with pick 35. He's a 183cm midfielder from the Woodville West Highland Eagles in the SANFL. He's a midfielder that likes to take the game on either left or right foot respectively. With the third selected at pick 32, the Swans select Billy Cotti, a mature age 22-year-old standing at 179cm from the Norwood Football Club in the SANFL. He's a forward mid that can kick goals. And lastly, with pick 49, the Swans selected their academy player in Max King, a key forward standing at 192cm. The next team is St Kilda Saints, and with pick 41, they selected Charlie Banfield, 192cm midfielder from the Claremont Football Club in the WAFL. He is the son of Drew Banfield and was eligible undefined son for the West Coast Eagles. He's a midfielder with good kick and has a good height at 192cm. The second player that the Saints selected at pick 52 is their academy player, Carl Fincher, a 186cm midfielder from the Greater Western Victorian Rebels in the Coates Talent League. And lastly, with pick 58, the Saints selected their own player, Ryan Burns. The next team is West Coast Eagles. The first player that they selected with pick number 1 is William Dersma, a 193cm midfielder from the Gibson Power under-18s. He's a midfield or utility that can play anywhere, halfback, wing, midfield, and forward. He's very similar to former number 1 draft pick in Brendan Goddard. Initially, he'll start in defence and eventually transition into the midfield. For pick 4, the next player that the Eagles selected is Cooper Duck Tyler, a 201cm ruckman from the Calder Cannons under-18s. He will play up forward and also ruck. He's similar to i.e. Luke Jackson of Fremantle. He's very athletic for a guy that stands at 201cm. The third player that the Eagles selected is Josh Lindsay, a 183cm defender from the Geelong Falcons under-18. This kid has an elite kicking. He's got a beautiful left foot kick, can hit targets from half back. He can assist with the transition by using his elite kicking. Reminds me a little bit like Western Australian Jordan Clark from Freo. The next player that the Eagles selected is Sam Allen, 184cm forward from the Oakley Chargers at pick 29. And lastly, with pick 39, in which the Eagles match a Fremantle bid, is Tyler Williams, 176cm forward from the Swans District Waffle Club. Williams is super fast, can kick goals and take the game on. A bit of Bobby Hill, going to be a good player for the Eagles. And the last team is the Western Bulldogs. With pick 21, they selected Sydney Swans academy player in Lachlan Carmichael, for which the Swans did not match. And he's a defender who stands at 184cm. He plays off halfback and sets the play up. He will be a long-term replacement for Jason Johannesson, who had retired. The next player that the Doggies selected is Lewis Emmett at pick 27. He's a 200cm ruckman from the Oakley Chargers under-18s. He's a good tap ruckman who'll be the long-term replacement for Tim English. And lastly, with pick 60, with father son, the Bulldogs select Will Darcy. He's a key position defender standing at 196 defender. He's pretty agile for a player that tall. And he is also from the Oakley Chargers under-18s. That's the end of the 2025 AFL Draft. What are your thoughts? Are you happy with the players selected for your club? Let me know in the below comments section. Thank you for watching my video, and it will be appreciated if you can subscribe and comment to my videos. Hopefully you enjoyed my video, and see you next time. Cheers or bye.